I don't know how else to say this. I'm gonna try not to swear a bunch, but it can't be this good. It's so good. It's insane. You look at like I'm just gonna start like unpacking stuff. I don't even care. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch this. Like Warwick being Vander, awesome. It is like the entire first episode when Warwick gets turned online and shows up in Blackgate. Dude, it is like a freaking scene out of Doom. The heavy metal guitars just start hitting and the animation is just vicious. It's so freaking cool. It's like I'm watching the like Warwick rework release trailer all over again. It is just visceral. And they've managed to do this thing where like the main characters who are the main lead characters still don't feel safe. Like I know in my head that like Vi's not gonna bite it, Jinx isn't gonna bite it, but like the tension is still there. Dude, I cried like 4 times in part 2. I cried like 2 times in part 1. This show is just ripping my heart out. It's so good. I mean, I fully expected the fight scene with like Warwick and Jinx, and but like the degree of how twisted people are. Like when Singe tells Isha, like, we're not gonna be here for long, don't worry about it, bro. Like, I got a plan. You think he's saying that he's got a plan to get everybody out. No. He's got a plan to get everybody else killed except for him, and then him walk out. Like, or make a deal or something. Like, he literally is in the prison. Warwick is coming, and Isha, Jinx, and Savika are standing there, and he just locks the door. Just locks the door, sits down, like, no humanity. No humanity. And, like, the poetic nature of how twisted Victor has become, but still how right he is in his analysis of, like, what the problem is, because the problem is people, and, like, there's just so many beautiful things. And Bessa and Caitlyn's relationship, oh, so good. I think his name is Richter or whatever, Rictus or something. I don't know. The big dude with the beard is just a freaking unit. I love watching him just put hands on people. Like, it's so good. It's so good. Everybody's having their moments. You see how Isha and Jinx's relationship is just building and building and building and building. And it's this cyclical nature of, because Zahn can't listen to Piltover and Piltover can't listen to Zahn and people can't actually get along, that even in the moments where things are going good, the same familial pain, the same sacrifice, the same death, the same like things that are twisting these people just keep twisting. And there's just no letting up. I'm so happy we got to see Oriana and like understand more about Singed character, because I love Singed as a character. I love Oriana in the game and everything, but like getting to see all of this added backstory and then getting to see the world through Victor's eyes when Singed is putting his hand over Warwick, but you see that the concern and the care that's coming out of him towards Warwick and towards Victor, it's not actually towards them at all. That flashing scene where it's towards his daughter, right? So the deep-seated manipulation that's going on is just so good. And then like, obviously Jace is doing the right thing, trying to get rid of Hextech, like, and trying to get rid of the Arcane, because it's obviously like corrupting all of these people. They don't understand that they're being like pulled into this like hive mind that Victor's pretty much controlling or whatever, and he's pretty much like stealing people's consciousness in the process, which is why they're all independent. But they're not all independent, they're all inextricably linked to him, and he's drawing power from them. And then like, I have to assume that in part 3 he's alive and pretty much just sucked the soul out of everybody to keep himself alive. And the saddest part is via him trying to save Vander inside of Warwick, that's who he's attached his arcane identity to. So when Victor starts pulling on all of the resource of the people, he's destroying what's left of Vander, and Warwick's all that's left. It's all that's left. So Isha goes to pull the trigger, but then it's like you're losing your dad again for Vi and Jinx. You're losing Isha, which is like Jinx's adopted child at this point. It's just so good. It's so heartfelt. And honestly, I thought part 1 was intense. Part 2, way more intense. If only for the introduction of Warwick as a character, because the scenes and the music is just so heavy metal. It is just dialed up to 100. I love the music in part 2. The only thing that got me a little bit was there was some of these like really brief cuts where it was like snapshot artistic moments in the fight. But like what I really enjoy more is like the Blackgate fight with Jinx and Warwick, where it's just this super fluid movement and single shot animation. It is gorgeous watching what Fortiche has done. And the different art styles they're expressing, it's like season 1 of Arcane, they were like, yeah, we're going to do something never done before, and it's going to be super cool. And then season 2 is like, oh, that was super cool. Now we're going to do everything. Like, the entire scene with Jinx and Isha's relationship encapsulated being done in like that child sense wonder like crayon marker drawing from Isha's perspective. It's just there's this attention to detail and there's this artistic care that is evident in every single part of this show. It blows my mind how anybody goes through this and they don't, even if you don't like the story, even if you don't like the characters, fine. I love it. It's a 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5 for me. Whatever. But even if you don't like it, if you are trying to make an argument that this wasn't done with an incredibly high degree of artistic intent and skill and quality, I really think that you need to start thinking about how you review stuff or how you ingest media, because this is top tier. This is top tier. If every TV show and movie that was coming out was done with this amount of attention to detail and this amount of emotional weight and storytelling, like it would be beautiful. Like everything that we ingest would just be like an amazing story. Even to the point where like the Jinxer who gets captured at the checkpoint, who shows up later when he's getting like interrogated by Ambessa. Look at his shoes, dude. Look at their shoes. Whatever. Like their shoes are the same style and type of shoes that Jinx wears. Like just these super fine details that are just so good. And that's not like a mistake. You could have taken any other animation and just like copied and pasted it over. You could have done the character model on a background character we don't care and not paid attention. But there's so much attention to detail. It's amazing. And it absolutely broke my freaking heart in two when they're in the caves, in the mines, and you understand all of the things that have led up to this. Their mom's violet hair, how Vander is like a surrogate godfather to them because he knew their mother. The entire premise of blisters and bedrock being introduced and also paying off in the fact that it was how they bonded as a family in the fissures when they were miners, and where Vander's gauntlets came from, and why there was such a strong bond, and why these people are so tenacious, and then all of that leading up to the fact that you see the trust between Vi and Jinx finally get rebuilt in the moment where Vi decides that, like, I'm not gonna use my fists for the first time ever, almost, and as a result, there's this beautiful moment that comes out of all of this terrible tragedy that's building up for 2 seasons, where they're just brought together in this hug. Oh, man. And if you've ever had family members and you've gone through something hard, or you were a kid and you were lucky enough to have, good parents, good role models around you, there's just a weight to that moment of being in somebody who you truly know loves you and you love them, and in that embrace. Oh man, part two's amazing. I like. I'm sure part three is gonna be even better, but like it's just blowing me away. It's blowing me away how it just keeps dialing up and dialing up and dialing up and dialing up. The only thing that's confusing to me right now is where the heck are Echo and Heimerdinger? Like I expected them all to be trapped in the kind of like parallel dimension, almost like how Mel is trapped in a parallel dimension via the arcane and magic. But like, if Jace got out and he was there, where were they? I'm having a hard time with kind of like where to draw the line with the arcane in terms of like where the magic starts and where the magic ends and what it's explaining and what's not. That's the only thing that I would have like a small gripe with. But then it's also beautifully displayed in the way that you see Victor move through Vander and Warwick's mind and how he's like how the arcane functions within the human psyche. I could go on for hours, guys. It's amazing. Go watch it. Please. Please, please, please go watch it. It's so good. I honestly don't know what else to say. I'll see you guys at part 3.